For a coach who is looked at as the glue to hold all of this together and foster team spirit to not be allowed to participate in these traditions, even in a passive way, just doesn't seem right. Judge Dennis Coffina of New Jersey's United States District Court is recorded to say this. Religion and prayer should be allowed to be involved in school sporting events. People must start to voice their opinions to put policies in place to allow religion in sporting events because it is a traditional ritual of many teams, holds an important part to many athletes and coaches' spiritual lifestyles, and athletes should be allowed to give their glory to God via the First Amendment. Many teams have a pregame schedule that they stick to. A ritual that is common to many athletes is prayer, whether individual or team. Praying with the team creates a sense of team unity and boosts morale above the team. Grant Tiaf, Executive Director of the American Football Coaches Association, estimates that more than half of high school football coaches engage in some type of prayer with their teams, and many college coaches often share their religious beliefs with their student athletes. According to Praying in Public, an article in the Athletic Management magazine, Justin McDonald, an athlete at Highland Park High School, says before each game his team sat and prayed to and over and give peace to a family of a fellow teammate who had lost a family member earlier in the season. In Lance Lawhurt's article, Athletes Find Strength in Prayer, Aubrey England agreed with McDonald and said she also prays with her team. Also, she has said that wearing her faith on her sleeve can be tough at times. Our coach prays over us. I feel good about that. That is the time that we all relax and feel the peace. Prayer helps our stress because as a team we freak out so much during games. Many teams stand hand in hand with their eyes closed and heads bowed to pray. Some pray for safety, some for athletic success, and some just trying to support the team. Harper Johnson, a sophomore football player, said this year his team started the season out by not praying before games. It felt unusual, and some members of the team, including Johnson, pushed to do it, and then it was welcomed wholly by the team. Another senior athlete, Aaron Lee, said his team all prayed together. Everybody prays together, just like a family. Praying with the team also has been to the spiritual aspects of each athlete's personal life. Sports and religion both provide things vital to the spiritual well-being of a person's life. They both provide belonging, reinforce values, help maintain traditions and rituals, and are used to help participants become better people. Prayer is one ritual that both the devoutly religious and non-religious utilize within the competitive sports environment. In fact, prayer is perhaps the most frequently employed use of religion by athletes, seen in Marquette Sports Law Review's article by Gil Frad and Lisa Bradley. Currently, individuals engage in prayer for various reasons that include coping with stress, giving thanks for benefits, petition for wants and needs, confessions of sins, forgiveness for grievance of others, and the adoration of God. As the intensity of competition increases, the frequency and meaning of these prayers often increase along with it. Todd Turner, athletic director at the University of Washington, says, "There's a high degree of spirituality in sports. It's an emotional enterprise. Those involved, being coaches, athletes, or administrators, are often focused and gravitate toward religion in the midst of their very competitive environment. In addition, helping athletes to develop as people has always been a part of a coach's job description, and many see fostering spirituality as a step toward that goal. Important values in team sports such as self-discipline, sacrifice, and the ability to cope with adversity can be easy for athletes and coaches to think about in religious terms. Due to the spiritual part of prayer from athletes, many want to give the glory of the game to God and should be allowed to do so based on the First Amendment. By allowing athletes to pray with their teammates and coaches, that doesn't mean that it needs to exclude others that other people may think. No person is led or forced upon to the athlete. No prayer is led or forced upon the athletes, and the students have the freedom to pray. There appears to even be a new breed of student athletes willing and sometimes eager to exert their rights through strikes, boycotts, and other actions. In my previous speech, I mentioned a coach by the name of Marcus Borden, who was a football coach at East Brunswick High School. He was dismissed from his position after not stopping prayer with his athletes on the field before the game and after the game after being asked by administration. He sued the school and asked to be permitted to bow his head and take a knee with his players. Judge Kavanaugh made it clear that coaches can show their respect for the team if the team wants to say a prayer. Many of Borden's friends and supporters voiced their approval of the ruling, saying the decision championed the freedom for coaches to be positive role models to their athletes by modeling their faith. Nancy Halpka, The president of East Brunswick's Teen Boosters Club said, "I have always supported Coach Bordenstand, and I am very happy with the decision the coach has made. These supporters are part of the reason the policy at that school was changed. They took charge by voicing their opinion in support and speaking up for what they believed in. If the policy change is slight, like offering the opportunity for a moment of silence before a game, it is better than nothing and can be built on from there." Overall, sports and coaches hold an important part of many athletes' childhood and their future lifestyles. The endeavors that they have in the future may come back to these lessons they've learned, and if they learn to speak up for what they believed in and have this religion to back it on, I think that is a great start for what they have built for their future. Religion and prayer should be allowed to be involved with school sporting events. People must start to voice their opinions to put policies in place to allow religion in sporting events because it is a tradition and ritual of many teams, holds an important part of many athletes and coaches' spiritual lifestyles, and athletes should be allowed to give their glory to God if they wish via the First Amendment. Stand up and speak out to see the change in your community and school system. If you believe in it, you can make a change.